And like I said, it is, Garud Puran was referred to as the book that deals with dead people. And you would realize it is furthest from the truth. And many years ago when I became a pundit, the very first Singhasan that I sat on in a yagya was for Pitri Yag, where we read from Garud Puran, the very first. So Garud Puran has a special place in my heart because it was my first sitting on a Singhasan for Pitri Paksh. And Garud Puran, my topic this morning, is that part of Garud Puran that teaches us that birds and animals just transmigrate. They just move from one body type to another body type, moving in an upward direction until perhaps they would get a human birth. It's a free movement, and that's why the word transmigration is used, because there's no luggage. There's no baggage of pap and punya. So while birds and animals transmigrate, humans don't, because we have things to hold our wings down, so we cannot fly as freely. Dhyan se suniye. I want you to listen attentively. And what struck me this morning, we always hear dhyan se, listen attentively. But nobody told me, how do you listen dhyan se? And for the first time I read this morning on my desk, nothing to do with Sanatan Dharma, but Lord Shiva had it waiting on my desk when I sat there this morning. It says, when you use your heart, your nerves and your ears with your mind. So your mind is using your heart, your nerves and your ears to listen, to give your attention. That is what you need. So you need your heart, your nerves and your ears. And when you fully put that into it, only then understanding will come. And that is dhyan se. So in order to come to understand certain things, these three ingredients are important to come together when we listen attentively, dhyan se. So Garud Puran, the first 7 chapters of Garud Puran speaks about the hellish lokas. Sanatan Dharma tells us we have 7 lower lokas called hellish lokas, and we have 7 upper lokas called heavenly lokas. And these lokas, 7 up and 7 down, is in relation to planet Earth, because we are living on the planet of death. This is Mrityu Lok. Earth is Mrityu Lok. So from the standpoint of Mrityu Lok, we have the hellish lokas and the heavenly lokas. So the first 7 chapters deal with hellish existences. Because when you die, it's not the end. If when you die it was the end, hell meant nothing. We can go do what we want. Hell means nothing. If you die, it's a full stop, end of your existence. So what's the big deal with hell? You could have 1,000,000 hells. Or you can go to hell, because you finish, you die, it's the end. But it is not true. So nobody believes that death is a full stop. Nobody, in spite of what they tell you as a Sanatanist, because they tell you to do certain things so that you would enjoy certain benefits of it. The next 6 chapters deal with the ceremonies that you perform when someone has died. So you're lying on your deathbed. From that point, as soon as the life separates from the body, there are 6 chapters that deals with that. There is 1 chapter that deals with heaven. 1 chapter. Amazing. 7 that telling you about hell. 6 tell you what to do when somebody dies. 1 tell you about heaven. Chapter 14 in Garud Puran deals with heaven. Beautifully described. Beautifully described. With the different entrances. And you know what is a nice thing about it? Boliye Siyapati Ramachandra ki Jai. What happens with that Jai? Travel. It travels. It travels. It travels. And somebody curse you. What happens? It goes and it goes and it goes. It's expanding. Always. It never dies. You flash a beautiful flashlight, powerful in the night sky. You flash it, part of a second, and you take it off back. The light doesn't go back into the flashlight. The light goes. It goes. The only place that you will get an explanation, what happens to the light, what happens to the Jai car, and what happens to the bad things that you speak of somebody. Garud Puran, chapter 14, because that is where it comes back to you in the Hall of Justice. Not the one in Port of Spain. The Hall of Justice, it is in heaven. That's where you go for justice. Presided over. And how you live your life, that's where it would come to. But from the point of death here until the Hall of Justice, there are lots of things that you have to travel. And one of the beautiful things that we think about, especially during Pitapaksh, is the Baitarni River. That's where people do Gaudan. For that part, to help this soul in the crossing of that phenomenon. And then the last two chapters, chapter 15 and 16, deals with yoga and liberation. Yoga and liberation. I'm taking my discourse this morning from chapter 16. And I read in Garud Puran, in the introduction to Garud Puran this morning, that some educated people they don't believe in an afterlife. And if you don't believe in an afterlife, then there is no belief in hell. And that's why they could take a knife and cut somebody's throat, film it, behead somebody, and you post it for the world to see. Because they don't believe in a hell, and they don't believe in an afterlife. That's their belief. First thing I look at this morning when I put on my laptop was the beheading of a British person. That's world news. And the world project that so that you and I can sit in our houses. Those are things not to look at. Whether it's morning time, evening time, or night time. Those are not things to look at. So if people want to sell you news, and that's the kind of news they want to sell you in your house, do without it. Sing bhajan. Believe me, it turns you off. I have stopped reading newspaper, daily newspaper. What I did rigorously for more than 42 years. I stopped it because I couldn't handle spending my money to spoil my mood in the morning time. After my hair dropped out, then I realized that I spend my money to spoil my mood each morning. It's not worth it. Even though it's $1 could buy something else. Okay? So, wiser. Think about it. And we come back to the topic. Birds and animals transmigrate. Sinners go to a hellish condition we call hell. Righteous people go to heaven. The knowers of truth achieve liberation. The knowers of truth. My topic from chapter 16 Garud Puran is about knowing the truth. If you want to become liberated, you need to know the truth. And we have heard so many things about knowing the truth. Do we know how to know the truth? Hari Om. Garud ji पूछते हैं कि हे दया सिंधु आज्ञान से जीवों से संसार में आना जाना मैंने सुना. Garud is speaking to Bhagwan Sri Vishnu, because Garud, that bird, is the Vahan of Bhagwan Sri Vishnu. So they're always in conversation. The closest person or the closest soul to Bhagwan Sri Vishnu is his driver. when you have a driver, a personal driver, the driver of the minister have more connection to the minister than even the prime minister. Because the driver is there all the time. The minister always bouncing off thoughts on the driver, on what you think about this. Like that, Garudji was closest to Bhagwan Sri Vishnu. So when Garud has a question, he would ask Vishnu. And Vishnu responds, Par Brahma Swarup Kanya Sahit Shiv Roop Sabse Jane Wale Sabse Karta Sabse Swami. That there is, Bhagwan Sri Vishnu is telling Garudji, Sabse bara, sabse meaning, sabse pehle, sabse acha. We hear that? We Pandit Krishna saying that on a morning, on a weekend morning. You ever hear him say that? Sabse pehle, sabse acha? Or nobody listened to him? I don't believe you. Yeah? Sabse pehle, pehle, it is before all, which is the first. Acha, sabse acha, the best. The first and the finest. In the same way, Bhagwan Sri Vishnu is describing Sabse, the one who is beyond all, who knows everything, who can remove any problems, who liberates anybody. Wahi, that shining one is called Shiva. The Garud Puran, and it speaks about liberation. Immediately, Bhagwan Sri Vishnu points you to one entity, one power, that is called Shiva. Never changing, never changing. And as I say, never changing, it dawned on me about the mala. Recently, Small Babs spoke about the mala that Shiva wears with the skulls. While Shakti takes different form all the time, Shiva is constant, never change. Same Shiva in the beginning, same Shiva before the beginning, same Shiva will be in the end, never changing. My light in front of my book. And Bhagwan Sri Vishnu tells Garud, 84 लाख योनियों में सहित देश धारण करने वाले शरीर में मनुष्य देह के बिना तत्व ज्ञान के मोक्ष नहीं होता है. That when you have a human body, or before you get a human body, we went through, I would use the words of Garud Puran, we transmigrated from body to body, say ana jana, come and go, birth and death, like that. We went through that 84 lakh, 8,400,000 times. And why 8,400,000 times? It's not 8,400,000 times as a human being, no. It is during the transmigration processes. There are 8,400,000 different species of life forms. So it's not as you come as a human being and you're going in the cycle of ana jana for 84 lakh. Not true. It is the processes of transmigration or evolution from the lower life form until you reach the door of a human being. So all those cycles of birth and death, you were moving with a free wing because there were no baggage of pap and punya. There were you had no responsibility for your action. A scorpion sting you and you die. A mapapi kill you and you die. And the mapapi not going to come and go upstairs. You have to go in the mapapi place. And if it sting you and you die, or bite you and you die, mapapi is not responsible for that. What you're doing in his place. See, if the mapapi come in your bedroom and kill you, maybe he might have something to answer. Why you come in the people's bedroom? But every time that a mapapi bites somebody, you went in the mapapi's territory. And I was very cautious not to say cobra. Because cobra is going all over the place now, even in Frederick Street. Yes, Frederick Street. That is the next kata. And so, Bhagwan, see, Vishnu is telling Garud that when you transmigrate and you go through the cycles of birth and death, until you reach the door of a human being, you are a free radical. You're not responsible for anything. No action. But when you become a human being, that's because you have Jnana and Vairagya. That is when God gave you the special ability to think. And I like, apne aap man kram vachan se. You must discriminate against your own thoughts and your own action and your own deeds, not somebody else. The word discrimination is very, very despicable when you use it outside of you. And it's very, very beautiful when you use it inside of you. So it's a nice word. It's a lovely word in Sanatana Dharma, to discriminate. But apne aap, for yourself, your own thoughts, words and actions. And Bhagwan is telling Garuji, when you enjoy your human life, you must be able to know what is the purpose of your human birth. And if, when you die, you did not realize that purpose, and you were a good person, you were a good person, as everybody I know, they are good people. You were a good person. When you die, you will go to heaven. And those who are not good in their actions, they would go to hell. Garud Puran says that. And recently I was privy to a conversation where one child was telling another child in school how you just lie. You just lie because you're a Hindu. Shocking. But that child didn't read it in a book. He would have heard it at home. See? But we don't want you to lie. We want you to go beyond the lie, to go to the truth. Today's katha is about learning the truth. And this truth is with a capital T. That truth. There is only one truth. Ekam Sat. Only one truth. When you learn the objective of this human birth, then there is no more avagaman. There is no more going and coming anymore. Until you learn it, then you would go to another state of existence or sphere of existence, which is upper or lower lokas. And those are only holden bay. They are only holden bay. So well described in many, many texts that are even not Hindu today. Well described. You go to hell. After you pay for the torments, it's a frightening experience. Then you will come back into the cycle of birth and death. But if you come in from hell, a human birth is not guaranteed. But you could still get a human birth. Okay? Depending on how you live your life in the previous birth as a human being. If you come in from the heavenly region, after you enjoy the benefits of your good deeds in heaven, you will come back into the cycle of birth and death. You will come back in the cycle of birth and death as a human being in a better condition you were in when you died previously. You will come back with vasanas of your good knowledge from your previous life, and you will come back in a better position. Quickly you would learn. You would learn Tamil in 1 month. You would learn so many things. You sit down on tabla and for 2-3 days you know the towels. Like that, it happened. And when we see our little angels on the stage of a Diwali Nagar, when we Bache Khan, those are not just souls coming here for the first time. Those are special souls that was sent to RRDS to just awaken the chakras of those vasanas that they came with in the present birth. It didn't take long, 3 months, and they were excelling as professionals because they were professionals in their previous lifetime. It don't happen just like that. All of you sitting here today and those of you listening to this broadcast, it is not just like that. It is only by the divine grace that you get the opportunity to be here today or to listen to this broadcast. It is a special privilege. It is a special gift. There are many examples given in Garud Puran for illustrative purposes. Illustrative purposes. And small Babs spoke about the fish and the hook. The fish and hook come from chapter 16 Garud Puran. A fish is, out of the 5 senses, the sense of taste is more developed than anything else. And that's why it is so easy to put a little bait in a hook, a metal hook, and sand it down and catch the fish. There are several illustrations and examples in Garud Puran. The elephant has this sense of hearing. It gets trapped because of the sound attracted. The moth attracted to the fire dies. So many examples given in Garud Puran. But we as human beings, we have 5 senses well developed. How much easier it is to pursue the gratification of the senses, not seeing the hook that is set for you by Yamraj. Not seeing that. But God gave you a beautiful body in a beautiful, perfect creation to enjoy this world. See, that's sometimes we misunderstand. If He didn't want you to enjoy this world, He would have taken away the senses, the eyes and the taste, and He would have taken away. But no, He gave us a perfect, beautiful body in a perfect world, beautiful world. Go, my children, go, enjoy this world. But there is a word called detachment. You're in it, but you're not in it. You're playing it, but you're not submerged in it. You come here to enjoy. And while you're enjoying this, you're supposed to learn something in the process. I had loved to use the example of wanting to go to America. And bank statement and job letters and family ties and deeds and and on and on and on. And then when you get all of this, and you have to save money or borrow money and put it in an account, and then you go, they give you a visa. And then all the preparations now. How we carrying, what we carrying for who on the other side. You have to get your foreign exchange, now it's trouble. And then you go on the aircraft, and the air hostess come and offer you things to make your flight comfortable, and then you go on the other side. But all of these things was just to go on the other side, to get off the airport in America. But all these things happen to make your life comfortable and to prepare you for going elsewhere. This human birth, with all the niceties of it, yes, niceties, it is to prepare you to go on the other side. Some of us go to heaven, and some of us learn the truth. Today's discourse is not about going to heaven. It is about knowing the truth. Bhagwan Sri Vishnu tells Garud, out of the 8,400,000 different species of life, we have 4 common factors. We assimilate, we eat, we take nutrients in, we utilize what we want, and we excrete the waste. So, eat, excrete. We procreate, we have children or offsprings, even the mosquito and the bacteria, and they all have offsprings. And we sleep. So if that's all we do in our lifetime, there's no difference between you and the other 8,400,000 different species of life. Because they all do the same. We must do something more. We have the ability for bhakti, devotion, and vairagya. Think. The vairagya is the important aspect. But bhakti sukha dene wale hai. That it gives this joy and this happiness in life. Just like the mala was a sukha dene wala ban mala. But the thing about it is that being happy is a natural state. We don't need a ban mala to make you happy. You don't need a lotto to make you happy. You don't need a nice husband to make you happy. No. See, it's a flaw in our teachings, because happiness is our natural state. That's what it is. Because God would not have created anything that was not good, not happy. A lot of us, and when I was younger, I was guilty of it, learning to read books and get information for argument. I love that argument. And I guess perhaps that is one of the reasons why I read a lot of books that were not Hindu to get trump card. But it was a good thing and it was a dangerous thing at the same time. Chapter 16, Garud Puran says, if information was liberating, the first thing that would have been liberated would have been the printing press. It went through all the books. The proofreaders proofread all the books for typing errors and everything else. But that's all there is. That's all there is. Nothing more than that. The spoon you take to turn the pot, the spoon, smaller spoon you take to dip the food and put it in your mouth. The spoon is oblivious to taste. Only the taste buds can taste. So we use ourselves as print and press. We use ourselves as the cultural, as the spoon, as everything else. Are we learning and seeing the truth? We want to come to RRDS from Diego Martin. You know, you come out in the road, you look at the road sign, going to Port of Spain, you look for the road for the Beatam, you look for Uriah Butler, you look for the sign for Monroe Road. If as soon as you reach here and you saw the sign, Monroe Road, you pull up on it and you're waiting for the harmonium and the mantras, it is not going to happen because you only saw the sign, Monroe Road. In life, a lot of us hold on to the signposts. Something is pointing you in a direction and you hold on to that as the truth and you end up living your life as a lie. In Sanatana Dharma, the only place that show you the difference between a pointer and a directional arrow and the truth is Sanatana Dharma. The only place that you will get it. Because, and we have to understand that, doing the puja would not give you the truth. Doing puja is the discipline. Making all the parasad and cooking all the food for Sunday morning and singing all the bhajan, it will not reveal the truth. It is discipline. It is part of enjoying your life. It is something more than that. The truth, you can never get the truth from anything outside of you. Read a book, listen to a realized master, come to temple. It cannot show you the truth, but it helps you discipline yourself and your way of thinking so that the truth will dawn on you. It don't happen just like that. If we sit down here and I take the next 7 days and I talk about the truth, knowing the truth, the truth, the truth. It is just like me talking about the lamp. The light is out, we're in the night, and we talk about the lamp, get the match. We talk about it. It's still, unless you put the switch on, if it have the electricity, or you scratch the match, it will never bring illumination. Because we're only talking, nobody's getting the switch, and nobody's getting the match. In the same way, the truth. We can talk and talk and talk. But unless we go inside to discover, to find where it is. The last time I spoke about this, it was from a slant of yoga and meditation. This is a slant from Garud Puran. Again, another example used in chapter 16. You give a blind man a mirror. What are you going to do with it? There's no use to him. No use to him. You have to go inside. So it's not about the eyes, it's not about the senses, it's not about information, it's not about book, it's not about religion. It's not about Hinduism. If you don't follow the guidelines and the pointers to the truth, you will never learn the truth. Knowledge is the doorway. Knowledge is the doorway. You have to take the knowledge and you put it in your processing plant. When I was thinking about this katha, yesterday evening, Christian told me, do Garud Puran this morning. I said, well, tell me to do it next week now, because I don't even have my Garud Puran. I don't know what you do with my Garud Puran. Yesterday evening. But the thing about it is that whether he's testing to see whether I could tell you something on Garud Puran or not, so give me some time. First I had to find my book. So when I was getting into this state of thinking, many thoughts came to mind, especially on liberation. And one word came to mind this morning as I was sitting on my desk, Gyan Deepak. In the final katha of Ramcharitmanas, there is one katha that deals with Gyan Deepak. Gyan Deepak is the light of wisdom. And the beautiful illustration that Tulsidas used in Ramcharitmanas is that it starts with the grass. See, we're talking about the light of wisdom. But Tulsidas started with the grass that has grown a natural, fertile condition that you cut and you give to your cow. So you have to give the cow pure grass. Nowadays, you're giving cow animal products in the feed. And we're looking for Gyan Deepak, the light of wisdom. And then when your cow gives milk, because it is fed with the right food, you would get good milk. And then you process that milk. And then you get good ghee. Then you take that good ghee and you light your lamp. You're going to get beautiful light, pure light. In the same way with the Gyan Deepak that is used, come back to chapter 16, Garud Puran. You have to take the good milk, the good food, the good grass, the good information, the good company, the good discipline, the nice bhajan, the nice offering to the lingam, the nice offering to God, the nice offering to the pitras. These are the ingredients, just how you have to extract the ghee, the ghee from the milk. No cow give you ghee, cow give you milk. In the same way, all these things that we do every day, it is the ingredients that we keep putting in here. How you have to chane and you have to extract ghee. In the same way, you have to process information inside of you in your quiet moments. And every aspect of Sanatana Dharma will tell you, in the beginning stage, you use Brahm Muhurat. When the world is at peace, Brahm Muhurat is 96 minutes before sunrise to sunrise in Trinidad. But it is a different time. It is the same 96 minutes before sunrise. So if you're in Australia, it will be a different time. Trinidad is a different time. In California, it's a different time. Wherever you live, choose your Brahm Muhurat. And you go inside. Your machine works best inside here. And you have to churn the information. Look at all the pointers. Look at all the direction arrows that you get in Sanatana Dharma when you go here inside. And when you have all the right ingredients, go into your mill that is called your mind. Only then you'll be able to cross the gateway. It's not the mind, but it's the mind is the big Dwarpal, gatekeeper, that keeps you out of going into your center, going into your place of self-discovery. It is the mind. But when you put the right ingredients with the discipline, it becomes easier. He is merciful towards you, and He allows you to cross that boundary, that doorway to get into your inner self, where you discover yourself, where you come in contact with yourself, when you come in contact with your own God, when you come in contact with the truth. As I conclude, truth cannot be gotten from books, from words, from well-intentioned advice. These are just like the street signs, pointing a direction. Information, however received, must be fed into yourself and processed. You have to do your own processing. You have to sit and observe in silence. Learn the art of getting to open the door of the mind, to go beyond the mind, to discover yourself. Only there you will find the truth. Boli Siyapati Ramchandra.